For centuries, many of us have looked towards the East. We have seen images of serene monks. They sit in quiet meditation, deep in thought. There is a mystery that surrounds them, a sense of peace, but also something more, something that hints at powers beyond our everyday understanding. We are drawn to these figures. We wonder about the lives they lead. We question what secrets they might hold about the human mind and spirit. This fascination is ancient, and it continues to captivate us even in our modern world. Zen Buddhism is a path of discipline and insight. It grew from the teachings of Siddhartha Gautama, the Buddha. It traveled from India to China, then to Japan and beyond. At its heart, Zen is about direct experience. It is about seeing reality as it truly is. Monks dedicate their lives to this pursuit. They engage in long hours of meditation. They study ancient texts. They live simple lives, often in remote monasteries. This dedication itself seems extraordinary to many. It makes us wonder what such focus can unlock within a human being. Part of the allure comes from stories. Tales passed down through generations. These stories speak of monks with abilities that defy easy explanation. We hear of men who could float in the air, others who could read thoughts. Some were even said to command the wind and rain. Are these mere fables, or do they point to a deeper potential hidden within us all? The line between myth and reality can sometimes be very thin, especially when we explore the vast unknown of human consciousness and spiritual practice. So, we begin a journey. We look into the heart of these legends. We try to understand their roots. We explore the historical and religious context that gave birth to them. We want to know what these stories meant to the people who told them, and what they might still mean to us today. It is a quest to understand not just these monks, but perhaps something profound about ourselves, about the limits or lack thereof of human potential when the spirit is truly awakened. The journey of understanding these extraordinary abilities often starts with figures of immense spiritual stature. Gautama Buddha himself, the Enlightened One, is central. While his teachings focused on liberation from suffering, early texts sometimes describe him possessing remarkable powers. These were not the goal of his path, but they were seen by some as natural outcomes of his profound spiritual development. He could, it was said, appear in multiple places at once. He could recall countless past lives. Such accounts set a precedent, a foundation upon which later stories would be built. Then there is Yogi Milarepa, a revered Tibetan saint and poet from the 11th century. His life story is filled with incredible accounts of supernatural feats. He is said to have endured immense hardship in his quest for enlightenment. He practiced meditation in desolate mountain caves for years. Legends say Milarepa could fly, could control his body temperature to survive freezing conditions. He could even transform his physical form. These stories are not just entertainment, they are teaching tools, illustrating the power of unwavering dedication and spiritual practice in the Tibetan Buddhist tradition. In the cultures of India and Tibet, these special abilities are often called siddhis. This Sanskrit term translates to accomplishments or perfections. Siddhis are considered spiritual powers that can arise through intense meditation and yogic practices. There are lists of major and minor siddhis. They include abilities like clairvoyance, the power to become invisible or to control the elements. However, wise masters always cautioned against seeking these powers for their own sake. They warned that siddhis could become a distraction. They could inflate the ego and hinder true spiritual progress. The concept of siddhis reminds us that these abilities, if they exist, are viewed within a specific spiritual framework. They are not magic tricks for show. They are seen as byproducts of a deep inner transformation, a transformation that purifies the mind and body. It aligns the individual with deeper, more subtle energies of the universe. The stories of figures like Buddha and Milarepa and the understanding of siddhis paint a rich picture. They show a world where the boundaries between the physical and spiritual are more fluid than we often imagine. Among the most captivating claims are those of levitation. Imagine a monk deep in meditation, slowly rising from the ground, not through any physical means, but through sheer force of will or spiritual energy. Stories of levitating saints and yogis exist in many traditions, not just Buddhism. These accounts challenge our basic understanding of gravity and the physical world. While scientifically unverified in controlled settings, these tales persist. They fuel our imagination about what the human mind, when highly trained, might be capable of achieving. They speak to a desire to transcend physical limitations. Telepathy, the ability to communicate directly from one mind to another, is another frequently mentioned power. Think of monks in distant monasteries sharing thoughts or warnings without uttering a single word. This idea of silent, direct knowing is deeply intertwined with concepts of interconnectedness found in Eastern philosophies. Bilocation, or appearing in two places simultaneously, is also a recurring theme. These are not just simple tricks. They suggest a mastery over consciousness itself, a consciousness that is perhaps not strictly bound by the physical body or by the known laws of space and time. Some legends go even further, describing monks who could control the natural elements. They could summon rain during a drought. They could calm storms, or they could walk through fire unharmed. These narratives portray individuals in profound harmony with nature, so attuned to the universe that they could influence its very workings. Historical accounts like those of the Venetian traveller Marco Polo in the 13th century sometimes mention such wonders. Polo wrote of wise men in the court of Kublai Khan who seemingly performed weather magic. Though we must read these accounts with a critical eye, considering the error and potential for misinterpretation or embellishment. These extraordinary abilities, levitation, telepathy, control over elements, stretch the limits of our belief. They push us to question what is possible. For those who believe, these are not just stories. They are testaments to the incredible power of spiritual discipline. They are examples of human potential realized to its fullest extent. Whether accepted as literal truth or as powerful metaphors, these accounts of monks and their powers have shaped cultural perceptions. They continue to inspire awe and provoke deep questions about the nature of reality and the hidden capabilities within us. Section 4. The Path Within Spirit Science and Searching. From a Buddhist perspective, the attainment of any extraordinary abilities, or siddhis, is, secondary. The primary goal is always enlightenment. It's liberation from suffering and the cycle of rebirth. If powers like telepathy or levitation arise, they are often seen as mere side effects of deep spiritual practice. They're like flowers that may bloom along the path, but they're not the destination itself. In fact, many spiritual masters warn against becoming attached to such powers. They can be a distraction, feeding the ego and hindering true spiritual progress. The real focus remains on wisdom and compassion. The Buddhist teachings emphasize that the true miracle is the transformation of one's own mind. Overcoming negative emotions like anger, greed, and ignorance is considered a far greater feat than any physical display of power. The path is inward. It's about understanding the nature of reality and the self. It's about cultivating inner peace. So, while stories of monks with special powers are fascinating, the core message of Buddhism points to a different kind of power. The power of a disciplined, compassionate, and enlightened mind. This is the treasure that is truly sought. Science, of course, approaches these claims with skepticism. The scientific method relies on observable, repeatable evidence. And so far, claims of levitation, telepathy, or controlling weather have not been proven under rigorous, controlled laboratory conditions. Many scientists would suggest alternative explanations for these stories. Perhaps they are metaphors, perhaps they are exaggerations that grew over time, or perhaps they are based on misinterpretations of natural events or psychological phenomena. The human mind is complex, and our desire to believe in the extraordinary is strong. This brings us to the difference between spiritual and physical phenomena. Spiritual experiences are often deeply personal and subjective. They may not be easily measured or quantified by external tools. What one person experiences as a profound spiritual insight, another might dismiss. The challenge lies in bridging these different ways of knowing. Is it possible that some phenomena exist beyond our current scientific understanding, or are these stories best understood as symbolic tales, rich in meaning but not literal fact? The search for answers continues, both in spiritual practice and in scientific inquiry. Section 5. Legends that linger the soul's enduring quest. So why do these stories of Zen monks and their extraordinary abilities continue to hold such power over us? Why do they endure through centuries across cultures? Part of the reason is surely our innate human fascination with the unknown. We are drawn to mysteries. We are captivated by the idea that there is more to reality than what meets the eye. These legends tap into that deep-seated curiosity. They offer a glimpse into a world where the ordinary rules don't seem to apply, a world of wonder and possibility. These tales also carry deep symbolic significance. Whether or not a monk literally levitated, the story itself can represent the idea of spiritual transcendence. It can symbolize rising above worldly concerns and limitations. The ability to control elements might symbolize inner harmony and mastery over one's own internal weather, our emotions and thoughts. These legends can be seen as powerful metaphors for the journey of human development. They speak of the potential within each of us to overcome obstacles, to cultivate inner strength, and to achieve a higher state of consciousness. The enduring fascination also reflects a longing for meaning, for connection, and for something greater than ourselves. In a world that can often feel chaotic and materialistic, these stories offer a different vision. They speak of discipline, inner peace, and profound wisdom. They remind us of the power of the human spirit. They suggest that through dedication and practice, we can unlock hidden potentials. This message of hope and transformation is timeless. It resonates deeply, regardless of our personal beliefs about the literal truth of the claims. Ultimately, the legends of Zen monks and their extraordinary gifts serve as more than just curious tales. They are echoes of a profound human quest, a quest for understanding, for spiritual growth, and for the realization of our fullest potential. Whether we view them as historical accounts, symbolic narratives, or a blend of both, they continue to inspire. They challenge us to look beyond the surface. They encourage us to explore the depths of our own minds and spirits. And in that exploration, we might just discover extraordinary capacities within ourselves, waiting to be awakened.